Hey viewers, welcome to another game of CasualProGamer. Today we're doing game number 2 of TSLPolt as the Terran in the bottom part of the map versus Stefano as the Zerg in, or Stefano as the Zerg in the top part of the map. I don't really care what it is, it's apparently Stefano, but I don't really care. Anyway, yeah, I set the graphics to a little bit lower rating because I had some trouble with the lags and it really annoyed me. So basically that's why we're doing it. So I did get the recommendation from someone that I should set fraps to fixed frame rate. And I thought I already did that, but apparently I did not. So yeah, I did that now. And hopefully that will make a difference. Hopefully we will see an improvement. And if we do see an improvement, I can actually switch back to the old graphics and see if that works. So, anyhow, yeah, not a whole lot going on. We do have a drone scout really early on. This is a relatively small map, but we do have an early drone scout anyway, just to see what's going on in the Terran base. There's not a whole lot to see. This is the first thing that there is to see, the refinery coming up. And all he can do for now, or for the rest, is just to try to pick off an SCV. I already started there, already 15 health off of it. But yeah, for the rest there's not a whole lot to do. So he's not going to see a second gas coming up, because that would be crazy with these amounts of units, because there are only, well, a few SCVs up. So having 6 of them on gas would be ridiculous. But having 3 of them on gas would be, yeah, okay-ish, I guess. And the drone could actually win this from the SCV. This is the reason, by the way, why SCVs only have 45 HP, while the rest, or where they used to have 50 HP. He does pick up the SCV kill, by the way. And the second SCV is going in. There is a Marine now out. The Marine is chasing the drone. It is, however, not going to catch it, obviously. And we are going to go into this base where we have a fast expansion before the spawning pool came up. And then the extractor also coming up, but yeah, that's kind of normal play. And the question is he going to pressure this? He is going to build a bunker. That's not going to do anything though, because, well, this guy is going to get picked off by a few drones, so it does do something, I guess. He has to pull a few drones off of the line, and because of that he is going to lose his SCV. But he also, well, the drones kind of, because they stop mining, kind of, yeah, get less income. So the Zerg player gets less income. The SCV obviously the first target here for the few Zerglings that come out, but the Marines are going down straight afterwards. And yeah, losing 2 Marines plus having to cancel the bunker and losing an SCV kind of puts them even again. So it was a kind of silly attempt, but I guess it works out if people don't react to it at all. Because if you have a bunker up here that's shooting at your hatchery, you will have to react at some point. So you will have to build a lot more Zerglings than just the 2 of them. And then attack the bunker from all sides and hope that the 2 Marines will not be able to kill everything, which it shouldn't. But anyhow, tech lab coming up for the barracks, the reactor on the factory, and as you can see, producing Hellions 2 at a time now. The Hellions are of course going to check the towers here to see if there are any Zerglings on there, and if so, then kill them. Zerglings take 3 shots to kill, which is why it's why they're so effective in larger groups. So 3 or more would one-shot Zerglings, and that is of course very good to have. He's going to hunt down every one of these Zerglings that he encounters. And the Queen, yeah, that's a whole different story, because the Queen, yeah, is a lot, well, a lot higher HP. So she doesn't get taken out that easily. We still do have some larvae left, and he doesn't have any minerals, I guess, to make anything off of them. So the Hellions are just going to try to do damage, and they are going to be quite successful in invading this base. They are, however, not going to be good against roaches, and these roaches are going to chase them out. So, speed Zerglings going to run around, going to try to get a scout into the base. And as you can see, the command center actually retreats. I don't know why though. He's probably afraid of this whole bunch of Zerglings coming out. And he knows that some of the Zerglings are missing. Well, I don't know if he actually saw that, but I think he saw that. And as you can see, the Roach is very, very hard to kill for these Hellions. Because he's been standing in the middle of these Hellions for quite some time. And he picked up one Hellion and then finally got killed. But we are going to, keep doing damage here. The Zerglings on the other side are going to try to invade this base. But wow, the Queen finally goes down. And this is not good because he can just kill all of these drones now. In the meantime, we are normally focusing here. And as you can see, quite a few SCVs trying to block that gap. They are going to go down, but are they going to make sure that the base is safe? But no, they actually aren't going to make sure that the base is safe. The Marines are still necessary, well, and the Marauders, of course, still necessary to hold off this push. And yeah, he does hold it off eventually, but it took quite a bit of convincing for these units to die. Finally, everything is back to normal. Both teams kind of back in their base, and the Zerg player lost way more resources there. While he lost units on both fronts, where the Terran player mostly lost some units in the front, but not really in his own base. The income, however, is going to go in the advantage of the Zerg player for now, because he actually had that mining going on two bases. Now a third base coming up, well, already up. But it is being supplied with some drones now. And yeah, the Zerg player is just going to try to hold the middle of this map with all of his Zerglings. Because as long as you hold the middle of the map, you have control over your own expansions. If you know where the enemies are going, then you actually have a pretty decent advantage there. Because you can use these kind of fast-moving armies to pick off the slow-moving units. And yeah, he tried to get into the base there, tried to snipe some SCVs, but not managing to do so because, well, the Terran player kind of caught on to him and didn't manage to sneak past him. So yeah, great play on the Terran player, knowing what his opponent was going to do. And this is of course because these guys have played against each other so often that they know each other's play style. They know what they're going to do if they see something. So they know the reactions of their opponents, and that of course is very important to have. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to the next big engage. Terran player coming in here with a relatively small amount of units, but yeah, he might actually make this work. The Zerglings are coming in though, and yeah, he's reasonably protected here. Oh, he does pick up everything. That is great play because, well, the Zerglings obviously cannot attack air, but also the Queens cannot move forward far enough or quickly enough to actually pick this off. So he's going to be safe. He's going to drop them out at some point and going to just heal them back up, because that's what the Medivacs do, obviously. So a few of the Zerglings over here, they are going to try to break this front, but no, he sees that there's an extra line of supply depots up in front of the army, and there is no way he can break that with just a few Zerglings. He needs, well, more roaches or something even bigger. And what are we going to see? We're going to see more Zerglings coming up. So nothing really to combat this this defensive style by the Terran player. Just going for the damage heavy units, because Zerglings are of course very damage heavy because there are so many of them. And they're very hard to kill except for splash damage. So yeah, the tanks are going to be awesome against them, and he is producing tanks. He already has siege tank researched, I believe. Or siege tech, I should say. And yeah, there we have the tanks. I don't know. Yeah, they do have siege mode. So, yeah. I'm thinking that at this point, yeah, the Zerg player, all he can do is try to prevent this base from coming up. The base is already flying in, so that's going to be difficult. But as you can see, building all kinds of buildings in front of that, because Zerglings, they will get stuck on those buildings. They will, well, once you have a full line, of course. But with a full line of buildings here, the Zerglings are not going to be able to sneak past, which is the strength of the Zerglings. So all they are going to do is just try to attack these buildings and then maybe take down one or two. But in the meantime, one tank will just take out the entire, well, the entire army of Zerglings. Here, one tank shot, five of them die or get damaged. I think that was 5 just getting damaged. But yeah, one of them died at least. So, and that was just one tank shot. Imagine that you have a few tanks up like he has here, and you run into that with your Zergling army. You just get instantly shot. Your army will just melt to that. And of course, with all of these overlords out, he can't see what's going on, or he could have seen what's going on, but well, he mostly knows what's going on because, well, at this point they know that siege tanks are going to be there, marauders for the roaches, and then marines for the Zerglings and to protect the tanks. And of course, that is the main thing that the Marines need to do. They need to protect those tanks, because as long as the Zerglings cannot get close to the tanks are going to do massive amounts of damage to those Zerglings, and especially if they're clumped up like this. Because, well, that is the way it works. So yeah, the Zerglings are going to retreat all the way to the base, and look at the amount of Zerglings he has. This is really from when you had all Zergling armies, and yeah, he does have a few infestors out here, but this may also be why my computer is lagging on this. No, well, it's mainly because it's an old replay. I mean, everyone has that, even Day 9, and he has a monster computer, especially compared to mine, because my computer, yeah, it's kind of an average one, especially by now, because it's already like 3 years old. 2 years, I don't know. Something like that. And yeah, it's not really made for these kind of heavy duty games. But hey, at some point I will be able to afford that. And at that point, I will never have to deal with lags anymore. I'm looking forward to that. Anyhow, one of the siege tanks gets picked off, and the Zerglings finally onto this this base. They are going to burrow. Wow, actually had burrow researched. But yeah, the Terran army just moving through here, and he's not sieging his tanks up until now, because he doesn't want to splash his own units. So even though they do way more damage, well, like this. Oh, I can't see. Come on, give me a moving tank. We don't have moving tanks. So yeah, even though the siege tanks do splash damage as well as more damage, just plain straight up, you don't want to siege them until you actually have a position that you can defend. Otherwise, you're going to splash all your own units, and that is no good, because friendly fire is a really easy way to die as the Terran. As you can see, all kinds of ultralisks out, but the ultralisks are not doing very well. They have 500 hit points, sure, but against siege tanks and marauders, and I guess marines as well, it's very hard for them to stay alive until they have that full upgrade on their armor. Yeah, it's now level 2. It needs to be level 5, I believe, to be fully upgraded. But yeah, the marauders and the tanks are going to do massive amounts of damage to them, because they do just massive amounts of damage, and they do extra damage to armored units. And yeah, they are definitely armored units. So anyway, the Terran is going to pressure his advantage here. He got a little bit of an advantage from that. He's going to try to take out this base. Obviously, it's not as easy as it looks, but well, he should still be doing pretty well. The Ultralists are going to go down, but are they going to take out enough of their opponents? I don't know. The army seems to have, well, dwindled down to a little bit of army now, but a new army is coming in. Here I can see it finally. So it's 1728, and if they're sieged, it is 3855. So you can see it's a lot more damage. Plus it has splash, and well, these tanks don't have that. Now you know why every tank always is sieged up. Because that is the way it goes. That's the way they're most effective. And as you can see, these guys are just going to make it out. Oh, finally runs into something. I guess he ran into a scan or something. Can't really tell. But anyhow, yeah, the Ultralists are melting left, right and center. And yeah, it is time for some other units. Like air units. Something like Broodlords would of course have been very good here, because Broodlords can deal with the siege tanks no problem, because siege tanks can't shoot at them. They're also pretty good against the Marines. Well, they would need some backup to deal with the Marines, because the Marines can run underneath them, and then yeah, you're kind of screwed. So this base gets lifted off once again. It just got completed, and it's not even an orbital command yet, or probably a planetary fortress, because planetary fortress would make more sense at this point. And we are going to take down the destructible debris, and let's see if we can actually get something going with this new path of attack. Planetary fortress over here as well, and yeah, it is now transforming into a planetary fortress. So the Zerg player a little bit behind on bases here. We have 4 mining bases for the Terran. Yeah, well, this one isn't mining yet. But we are going to have 4 mining bases for the Terran, where we only have 2 for the Zerg. I guess 3. But he needs to get this one as well as an additional one, because these 2... Oh, and we have a drop coming in. These 2 are already mined out. And of course that is something you don't want to deal with. You don't want to run low on income against well, an opponent that is about equal to you. Once again he takes out a base. And yeah, even though the drop didn't really work, he got a successful attack on that base. So now the Zerg player will have to attack this base. And since there are no SCVs here, this is going to be relatively easy. But planetary fortresses do have splash damage, and as you can see, it took out quite a bit of the Zergling army. It is however not a problem. Zerglings are kind of expendable. As you can see, 1100 minerals. So he doesn't really worry too much about that, because they are, yeah, you can basically run them in and suicide them, and as long as you get something done, it's all good. It's all good. It doesn't really matter. So, 1 Marine. Oh, that's so sad. If you see 3 of those Ultralists coming at you, oh my god, that is insane. Anyhow, we do have the army coming in here, and the Zerg player just, well, melting this army for now. All kinds of infested eggs coming in, infested Terrans, of course. And the infested Terrans are going to take quite a few of the hits from the tanks. And is he going to be able to make this work? Because it seems that most of the tanks died. And yeah, I guess the new Terran army already there. So he couldn't pressure his advantage at any point. And he's going to have to run out. But yeah, there is no way he can run out. Because, well, this Terran army was just too fast. Marines are, of course, very fast, especially with Stimpack on. And well, just doing a great amount of damage there with his, well, relatively small Terran army. It worked out really well for him. He took out all of the infestors and lost, well, a few Marines and a few tanks, but really this base is way more important than that, and this base is still not back up. This base is back up, but yeah, with all of the SCVs running, or sorry, drones running there, I think he's going to notice that that base might be back up. So I think he's already planning to go for that. Yeah, his new army is arriving. There's a few marauders in there now, and a lot of tanks. Just a crap ton of tanks in this army, and just yeah, losing a few of them there, but he should be able to wipe this out. But wow, the nice fungal growth actually going to get some damage done, but yeah, too many marines. Can't really stop the flow of marines here because he just doesn't have the income to do it. And the marines are going to go into this base. Oh, and if this falls, it is over, because this is the last mining base. So everyone is coming here to try to defend this base, but if the Terran just focuses this one, yeah, and he is going to do that right now. Yep, there you go. Base, our game number 2 goes to our Terran player. Very nicely played, very focused. He took out the armies that were coming into his base, but what was more important, he kept focusing on getting down these new expansions. He wasn't worried about these first 3 bases, because basically they're mined out at this point. So taking new bases and making sure they actually stay up, so they don't die too often, that is crucial. And then taking out the enemy bases, like yeah, every time they come up, yeah, it worked out really well. So I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. GG.